Hello, my name is Justin Parent, and I'm creating this vlog series. I'm a paramedic. I work here in New Mexico. Been working in EMS for coming up on 14 years. Started off as an EMT for three, and then been a paramedic since 2009. So I think we're working on my 14th year. I know I lose track. Work so many hours, it just all blends together eventually. But I'm doing this vlog series just because maybe it's helpful to some other people. It's helpful to myself. It's just kind of a way to vent. Um, I in turn intend to share a lot of personal stories. Some positive, some negative, just a little bit of everything. Um, no real particular game plan as of right now. Just hopefully maybe weekly or monthly episodes being uploaded, and probably most times it's gonna be me staring at you, talking, ranting, looking at notes. Maybe one of these days I'll get some other guests on here. Maybe they can talk about their experiences, some of the coworkers, maybe some friends. But basically, after being a paramedic for 14, well, being in EMS for 14 years, I about 10 years in, I started developing I just noticed a lot of change in me. Started being real negative, real angry, real frustrated, and couldn't figure out where that came from. Because starting off in EMS, I was just looking forward to helping people, just contributing to the community, just saving lives, just all those typical Ricky Rescue things that a lot of people associate with EMS and so on. And somewhere along the lines, I started feeling like I was losing that and just not happy, just frustrated. And I couldn't figure out where that came from. And then, the more you think about it, is for as much good as you do and as much as you help people, you experience just a lot of bad. Because I mean, face it, our career is based on everybody's bad day. Nobody's having a good day when they call us ever. And I see a lot in EMS just because that's my perspective. That's where I work. I work on the ambulance. I've been in the ambulance and mostly private ambulance services. And I notice a lot of times a lot of people just after years they just get more negative. There's just a change. Sometimes things get taken out. Some people turn to alcohol. Not everybody. There's a lot of people that find ways to work things out, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Uh, um, I've noticed the biggest change in me came from going from negative back to positive. Is one day just venting out of nowhere, just leaving a call. A poor guy was hit on the side of the road, no idea, no nothing, but he didn't survive. And just out of nowhere, I just create a backstory for him. I give him a whole story on how he, you know, went from middle of his life to recovery to where he found himself here in this moment. And one thing decided after I had that little moment, my partner knows it. That's actually kind of a good story. You can make a movie or something like that out of it. And I realized, hey, that's a good idea. So I wrote a little story, just an outline of the story. And the more I developed the characters and developed the plot line and the story, I started thinking about all the other experience I've had, all the other weird calls, the bad calls, the just bizarre, and just started compiling them. I just started to find, like, I just felt this little weight lift up off of me a little bit. Just that negativity, that sadness that kind of wears you down after a while of working on the ambulance and, just seeing and dealing with the negativity. It's just this. No matter what you're doing that's positive, it's always in a negative context. If you know what I mean. I don't know if I'm expressing this properly, but after a while, it just builds up inside you. And it's not EMS is the only field. There's a lot of other people, whether you're military, police, fire. I mean, I hope some of what I'm saying applies to you guys as well. And hopefully, maybe you can look at your lives and see what you can do to get through this as well. I mean, maybe you're not a writer, maybe you're not an artist, but there's some other art form that helps get through and express these emotions That's one of the biggest problems. Is sometimes you spend so much time just hiding those emotions. I mean, you get your career of telling people bad news, but you can't express, I mean, fully express how badly you feel in this situation. I mean, you have to maintain your composure, so you spend this whole time building this wall and separating yourself from those experiences, and you just compile all this negativity constantly inside you without ever fully expressing it. And you might, talk to your partners a little bit, maybe talk to some friends. I mean, but you can only give so much information as far as, I mean, you can talk a little bit more about stuff with people that involved in that, but I mean, you can't take it home to your wife and tell her what a bad day it is, because you're just spreading that negativity onto them, or your best friend or whatever. You can just give vague, descriptions, but it doesn't feel like it's fully helping you. But there are ways to reach out and get that weight off of you. Um, you know, there's other ways besides turning to alcohol or drugs, God forbid. There's just a lot that you can do to make life better. But totally lost my train of thought, man. Just going off on a rant. But what I think made a lot of this so relieving to me is the fact that when I was writing this story, it reintroduced me to my creative side. See, for years and years, I just kind of suppressed all the creative juices. Just I had kids real early on in life. By 17, I was already married, had my first kid. By 21, I think 21, 22, I already had three kids. Or, yeah, three kids by 22. I mean, that's a lot of responsibility right out the gate. So I've always had a full time job since 16, and then, went from, cleaning yards to saving lives. And just all those years, you just kind of put away all the things that you enjoyed, all the creativity. I've always been a very artistic person. I just let it go. Just, focused on, let's provide for the family, which is, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's what you got to do. But you just let go of the creative side, and then when you start balling up all this negativity, and then you just forget how you expressed yourself, and you kind of lose yourself in the whole experience. And it's just it just makes things harder, and then little by little you don't realize that you find yourself taking out your anger or depression, your frustration out on your family and your friends. And it's not intentional. I'm not like necessarily yelling at them or fighting with them. You just kind of, your attitude just changes sometimes. You just get mad or annoyed by littler things that really shouldn't bother you, but you find yourself just frustrated over nonsense. And it just, sometimes you just find yourself kind of locking yourself away from people because you just can't deal with it. And those are just not good ways to handle stuff. I mean, everybody's got to find that creative outlet. I mean, not even necessarily creative, but just that way to process things. I mean, sometimes talking is helpful, but sometimes we just need to let it all out. And I found writing it down, just put it into story helps. The other thing I started doing was stand-up comedy. I do stand-up as frequently as possible, and just making fun of myself and some of the stupid things that, comes along with everything that happens, and it's very, very cathartic. Am I being pretentious? I don't know. Maybe I am. This whole thing might be pretentious. You can just say, screw you. You're an asshole. I don't like your face. But let's not say that. That's negativity. Let's be positive. Power of positivity. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not really sure where I'm going. This is more just an introduction. Hopefully, I'll have some more thought provoking, more detailed, topics. I want to get more into maybe how my career started. You know, you know, the influences of childhood that got me wanting to do EMS. There's a lot I want to get through here, but it's just a quick introduction. Hopefully, this has been interesting for any of you if you watch. But my name is Justin Parent, and if this was interesting, if you want to hear more of my projects, things I do, I have a podcast called Best of the Bottom. I'll include a link somewhere in here. I do stand-up comedy here in El Paso mostly, be in Albuquerque April 1st. Hopefully that'll become a regular thing. And you can follow me on Facebook at Justin Parent, Instagram at Justin_Sane83, or on Twitter at JLParent, and I'll put that down in the bio below. And you guys have a good night, good afternoon, good whatever time of day it is. I'll be talking to you guys soon.